Rugby World Rankings, folks. After 3 weeks of Rugby World Cup action, we're going to go through how the teams have changed in their rankings, what are the possible permutations for the upcoming round, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how fair or not the teams are currently ranked. Ireland's impressive winning streak goes on with their victory over the Springboks. They've extended their lead in the World Rankings to 93.79, so comfortably top of the world rankings. Nobody is within touching distance of them at the moment. It's testament to the work that Andy Farrell has done with this Irish side. Very, very consistent. It's not a trophy. Nobody's gonna, be celebrating too much with another victory and another week at number one in the world. But still looks pretty bloody good. Still looks very, very good. France are up into second. They passed South Africa, not because they took any points off Namibia with their big win, but they've dropped below, or South Africa's dropped below them with their loss to Ireland. France are obviously sweating on the defence, the fitness of Antoine Dupont, so we await that one. I mean, player availability does not get represented in Rugby World Rankings, but you'd feel any French side without Antoine Dupont has at least a couple of points less on the World Rankings because he's just such an incredible player. South Africa, like I mentioned, dropped to third with their loss to Ireland, but they are still ahead of the All Blacks, who didn't play at the weekend, who are there in fourth. And the gap between fourth and first has extended quite a bit. Like, if you remember, prior to the World Cup, like the top four sides, there was very little between them, but Ireland, as I said, have really extended out, and with New Zealand's initial loss to France, they have just dipped a wee bit below. Scotland and England, there's not too much between those two sides. They both won at the weekend over Tonga and Chile, respectively, but neither side took any points off those teams because the gap between them is too large, but it was pretty convincing from both of them. And then Wales are one of the biggest winners of the week, up to 83.17 from 80.66 with that record-breaking win over the Wallabies. Looking like happy days in Welsh rugby land. Quarter-final berth locked in. Let's see what Gats can do with this side. He's taken this Welsh side to semi-finals before, so yep, happy days from a Welsh point of view. Fiji didn't play. They are still there in 8th. Argentina did beat Samoa in what wasn't the most attractive game, but it was another win. Always a first win for Argentina to kind of keep their campaign alive, and it was Samoa's first loss. So marginal gain for the Pumas up there into 9th. Australia dropped to 10th with that record loss. Theirs is kind of an all-new low at the moment, sadly, for the Wallabies. I don't think many people are rejoicing in the demise of this Aussie side. I mean, a lot of people don't like Eddie Jones, and a lot of people are, saying he's been found out and whatnot, but I think most of us would rather have a competitive Australian team in the draw, but at the moment, sadly, they're just not there. Georgia with their draw against Portugal. Wow, why am I getting on to Georgia? They dropped some points, but I should be going to Italy. Italy took some points off Uruguay with their win. So they are up marginally from 75.63 to 75.93. So it's not a heck of a gain, but they are still up one spot. Samoa dropped below them with the combination of the Italian win and the Samoan loss. Japan up a spot because of Georgia's draw. So Japan didn't play, but they are up a spot. So their kind of recent drop in world rankings has been arrested for a week anyway. Georgia, as I was prematurely getting to, with their disappointing draw from their point of view up against the Portuguese, which was pretty underwhelming from the Georgians, means they drop because they were the higher ranked side. That tends to happen when there's a draw. It's not much of a change, but it's still a change. Tonga didn't drop any points to Scotland with their loss, but they are still there in 15th. Portugal have gained, but not in the world ranking spots. Uruguay is there. USA, Romania, and Spain, no change. And just off the board, you'd have Namibia 21, Chile 22. So yeah, that's how things are sitting at the moment. You still feel like any matchups between, Ireland, France, and South Africa are going to be big games. You can probably include New Zealand in that mix, but right now, optimism levels here in NZ are kind of tempered. Anyway, and then, teams like Wales, England, Scotland, Fiji are all coming off decent results. Argentina is still not convincing, but hey, a win is a win. So that's how things are sitting at the moment. Upcoming games, you've got Uruguay against Namibia, which should be the game of the pool for both of those sides because that's their best chance to get a win. Japan's playing Samoa, which both sides genuinely have a chance to go up the world rankings, and it's a must-win game for both sides. both having had a loss. They need a win to keep their pool chances alive, or their quarterfinal chances alive. New Zealand playing Italy. It's a must-win for New Zealand. They won't get any points off Italy if they win, whereas Italy could go all the way up to 9th if they were to knock off the ABs, which would be historic in multiple ways. We've seen it happen with the Wallabies. Is there a chance of it happening in New Zealand? Argentina playing Chile, which will be a great one because it's an all South American affair at a World Cup, which is fantastic, but Argentina is not going to take any points off Chile if they get a win. Fiji is playing Georgia. Fiji will get a slight gain off the Georgians if they can get an expected win there. Fiji will need to be careful of banana skins from their final 2 games to ensure their road to the quarterfinals is a secure one. Scotland's playing Romania. They should be getting a big win. There's not going to be any change. Australia's playing Portugal, and it's kind of a sign of how the Aussies have fallen, in that when they play Portugal, assuming they beat them, they will take points off the Portuguese. Normally, when you would think Wallabies playing Portugal, it's going to be a no-point one, because when the gap is more than 10 between the sides, like Scotland on 83 playing Romania on 64, the gap is way more than 10 points, so there's not going to be any points taken. Well, 76, 69. If Australia win, they're going to take some points off Portugal, so that's a thing. And then South Africa playing Tonga. It's a must-win, obviously, for the South Africans, having lost to Ireland. They will be expected to go out and get a big old win just like the Scots did, but they won't be taking any points off them because the gap is too much. But there you go, folks. You guys let us know your thoughts on the Rugby World Rankings, fair or not at this stage of the World Cup. And yes, talk to you guys again soon. See you later.